2, 3, yeah.
Good.
I like to hear
You
myself.
used one of these before?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, if you need, if you want to know anything, let us know, and I'll try to make sure we're good with it.
So this is a microphone.
It's a microphone.
It?
Talk into it. Headphones to hear what you're saying.
Is that right?
Yeah, exactly right.
This is great. I've never done it before.
Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of Potty Magic. I have got the biggest name in sporting journalism, TV.
Where is he?
Here in Perth, right? He's part of the Triple M commentary team. He's the news anchor for the sport on Channel 10. Absolute fucking legend. Lachy Reid, welcome to Potty Magic. Thank you very much for making the 2-hour trip to Canning Vale to come and do it with us.
Good to be here, mate. I actually got a little nervous. The heart started beating a touch when I walked in and there was gym equipment here and I thought, oh, he's not going to put me through a session or something like that. The last time I came here to see Potty Madge, I vomited just outside there.
Yeah,
and I've never been the same.
Yeah, he did. But looking great, though.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, looking very good. So, I guess today it's because we've trained together and we've actually got a live studio audience.
Yeah,
we got Josh Reid out here as well, which is great. Haven't done this before, so but a little bit about I guess how me and Locke know each other. So, growing up, I was a Perth Wildcats fan. And Lockie was the hype guy, the court announcer, right? So I'd be there every game. He'd be doing all sorts. He'd be up there with the microphone. He'd be standing on the benches.
So was that Challenge Stadium as well?
Challenge Stadium, yeah.
So you've been a fan that long?
The first game I went to, it was a Wednesday night. I think I was year 5 or year 6, right? It was the first game I went and it was like, it's a school night, your dad. He goes, no, it's all right, we'll go. It was a triple overtime game.
Oh, really?
Tony Ronaldson was hitting all the threes that night and you made us stand up for 3 quarters fucking straight. We should have just bought the standing tickets because you could at the time. It was an absolute rip that we bought the seats, but anyway. And then sort of from there, we've done a couple of sports reports.
Yep.
On Channel 10, which has been really good for me. Thank you very
Highest
much.
rating episodes, the Body Madge appearance on Channel 10 Sport.
Yeah. No, but really appreciate coming down and doing those. They were really good. And then we sit close to each other at the basketball and we have a bit of a meet up at half time and just sort of discuss how the Cats are going. Done a bit of Triple M together. But I think my favourite, I guess, story with us and also like it's a big family story now is the Wildcats MVP Bowl, which you are the host of the evening.
Yes, yep.
So this was 2 years ago now. We went there and they do like the live auctions, which you're the auctioneer and you're at the front. So Lex's got the microphone. He's, we got a bit over here, a bit over there. And they do it for holidays and, all sorts of stuff. And I've got my mum absolutely steaming, right? So she's probably 10 tequilas deep. Like I was, oh gosh, she was a mess. Anyway, there was a designer watch that came up and all of a sudden out of nowhere, my mum is bidding on this watch. And like mum does okay, but we're not. It's probably the first auction she's ever been in her entire life. And you're going, one bit over there. And we're going, what the fuck is happening? And anyway, you're on the microphone. You were loving it. Got the cameras around. So we did that. So that was that story. And that was quite funny. But then the follow-up year was even better. We thought, how are we going to top the watch? She also got super steaming on tequila again. And we ended up buying the car. So it was pretty funny. So,
I know my target audience. Just go to the Body Madge family and I know I'm guaranteed to sell something.
Yeah, just get a 4x2 in Applecross for next time. That'll be good, I reckon. Yeah, I reckon I'm on for it, yeah. So I've done a little bit of research. I've messaged a couple
Who have you spoken to? Can you throw some names my way so I prepare myself?
Your sons, your daughter Maddie,
They'd be all good things, though.
All good things.
All good things.
Couple of people that you work with. So anyway, we're gonna run through these. It's an easy game just to sort of get it going for everyone out there. Just is it true or is it not true? Okay. Yep. So is it true at the age of 4? Even at the age of 4, you would mercilessly. How do you say that? Mercilessly.
Yeah.
Beat your sons at basketball to the point that they'd be crying.
Very true. Yes, yeah. You've got to teach them, young people. If you just let them score and think they're fantastic, then they live their life like that. You've got to bring them back down to earth and make sure they know who is boss. Can I just confirm as well? So Ben is my oldest. He's 24 years of age.
Yep.
He's a big unit. Probably don't take him on now. I've got the big unit as well over here.
He's
17.
much bigger than last time I've seen him, Josh, as well. He walked in, I've gone, oh my God, I had to look up. I was going.
So back in the day, basketball, we've got the little, it's not a basketball court, but it's got the ring and everything outside. Whatever age, Ben and Joshy, I'd just back them into the basket, mate, and just keep backing it in.
to
little
use your
hook shot,
strengths.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar like, and they had no chance. But now you'll notice I don't play them.
Well,
I
you
run
have
out
to
of
retire.
puff.
Well, that actually kind of leads into the next one, right? Sort of like going out on top, I guess. Is it true that you once won a Melbourne golf tournament at the age of 12, but then you decided to, I quote, give it up because you've done it all?
No, that's right. I won the Victorian Schoolboys
Go out on top.
competition.
Yeah.
It was a day, I think we were playing at Royal Melbourne. We played, it was like a schoolboys competition where you played at different courses over the holidays.
Yeah.
And so we played at Metropolitan, like big courses over in Melbourne. Metropolitan, Royal Melbourne was on them. And one
all the
day
big games, all the big grounds. Yeah.
Royal Melbourne, I won. And I gave it away because I used to get too frustrated and would throw my clubs too much. So I'm a bit of an angry man
Happy
when
Gilmore
I play
sort
sport.
of,
So I thought
nice.
that's enough.
Is it true that you've been seeing Advanced Hair Clinic for the last 2 years, but you want your money back? Is that right? That wasn't me that said that one, all right? Okay, I'm thinning up top as well, so that's right.
I'm proud of my baldness. Baldness is beautiful.
No, you got to embrace.
So I'm very happy.
I'm on my
not
way
to be
there
doing
as
that.
well. I've got a real bad receipt. I've got a Macazem going on up the top here, and that's not got many years left, I don't think. So I'm just going to embrace it.
Benny's 24.
Yeah,
he's
got
done.
it a bit?
He's cooked.
He's done.
Cooked.
Yeah,
and Joshy is 17, and I think he's cooked as well.
No, I think, his hairline looks really nice. I'm looking at it right now. It's very, very straight. It's got no Macazem going on just yet.
But, mate, it comes from your mother's side, apparently, baldness.
Right.
And your grandfather was bald as a badger, my friend. So you're done.
Not
you're
much
cooked.
hope. Yeah, damn it. Is it true that, again, I'm just quoting this, that you drank all the beers at Ember's wedding? Is that true?
All the beers, and they had these tequila drinks as well. They were
it's
nasty.
The tequila that gets you.
No, it was. So I'm going to name drop here. There were some big names at the wedding.
Tell me.
The big Q stick was there. Quentin Lynch
Good.
was there. He was on fire. He was
Yes.
carving up the dance
Yes.
floor. Adam Selwood, the
Nice
great.
one.
He's one of. I'll tell you. He is one of the best blokes in footy that
Yeah.
I have ever met over
Yeah.
my 25 years of journalism. Adam Selwood, just a ripping bloke.
Yeah.
Who else is there? Sammy Butler. So there were a few West Coast Eagles there, and I took them on.
Oh,
and,
yeah, sure. You had fun.
I had fun.
And if Embers is paying, no problem. That's
right. So that came from Embers, obviously.
Yeah, it came from Embers, that one. All right, so is this one true? Now, this one's from me, actually. Is it true that you went on a Colts footy trip to Broome with your son? You were down at Cable Beach and you wanted to go on a camel ride, but you were told, no, no camel ride. You look like you've had too much food and drink up in Broome there. And then I thought, you know what, better come down and do some body massage sessions.
No, so the real story behind this is about 4 of the dads, right? We had a look at, because we were trying to plan the trip, because usually you go to Melbourne for these trips. So you go to footy games. So obviously this was during COVID and we couldn't go to Melbourne, or we had to wait, and we thought, we'll just go to Broome. We're going to go to Broome. But there's not a lot to do in Broome,
there
is there?
Once you were there for 3 days, you've completed the town.
So we thought, we'll do the camel rides. We'll go on camel rides. And I had to do the investigation into how to book it, and I noticed just a little line in there that you couldn't be any more than 95 kilos. Very quick to go home and weigh myself, and I was peaking a little over 95. And there were about 3 other dads that actually were also in the same
maybe we shouldn't do the camel
position.
rides.
So we actually formed a group 4 weeks out from the Broome trip. You'd be very proud of us here.
Yeah, no.
We called our group.
I remember when this was. I remember you telling me about this. Yeah,
Don't Squash the Camels was the name of the WhatsApp group, and the group that would do it on a Sunday morning. We thought maybe just one little run on a Sunday each week for 4 weeks. That'd trim down 4 or 5 kilos.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Didn't happen.
Not quite.
Didn't happen. But I got on the camel, and the moment I placed my big fat ass on the camel, I heard this. He's thinking, oh, God.
It's been walking funny ever since. It's going.
This is going to be a tough hour of a walk down the beach.
Oh, God. All right. And then last one. Is it true that you only did that last Channel 10 report with me in here in the gym just so you can meet Luke Jackson?
Yes, very true.
There wasn't a lot of body badge on the last one. I was going, when's my bit? When's it coming
You've had
up?
your moment. You've had me. You've had 3 stories with me on Channel 10, a full-page spread on the West Australian. You've had your moment.
Fair. No, it is fair.
And he is going to be the greatest footballer you will ever see.
Oh,
with
he will
Jackson.
be, isn't he?
He
Yeah,
is
yeah.
gonna be
Whatever
something
he
special.
wants, pay him. Whoever. Just give it
Did you
to
see
him.
the reports the other day?
Yeah,
12
I did see
mil
that. My
over 8
rates
years?
went well up
I was
there.
going to say. So 12 mil over 8 years. So you'd probably charge him $50 a sesh. Now, I reckon you have to go up to about $1,000 a sesh.
Oh, you would think so. Yeah. Just to make sure that, I'm just taken care of.
Yeah. Well, you've made him.
Yeah, well,
It's nothing to
exactly
do
right.
with his natural
It
ability.
doesn't
or
matter
anything
about
like
the
that.
20 years before that he was playing football and his mum and dad driving him to trainings.
Yeah,
none of
nah,
that.
I had
None of
nothing
that.
to
It was
do
only the last year that he knew me, for sure. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I've become a superstar since I met you as well.
Exactly right. It's just taken off for you, hasn't it? Yeah. We're going to get into a little bit of your career stuff in just a sec. Beautiful. Lachy Reid. So you've had a massive journalism career. You want to run us through a couple of the places that you've worked or projects you've been part on and shows and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so I'm a Melbourne boy. A lot of people actually go, what? Melbourne
And
boy?
when did you move to
So
Perth?
I moved to Perth in 1995. At the start of 1995, I went to the academy at Edith Cowan Performing Arts Academy.
Yep.
And did broadcasting. So a bit of a... For all those people out there who do year 12 and you've got no idea what you want to do, it was probably me. And in the end, my dad got me into some international trade course because he thought I could be an economist and,
Something real
run
fun
the,
like that.
run the world trade.
Right.
And I lasted 2 years in that. A lot of my time was spent in the TV room watching Bold and the Beautiful and Santa Barbara, those sort of shows.
Very good.
And in the end, I decided to leave there and I went up and lived for 2 years on Dunk Island, which is an island just an hour shy of Cairns, out about like a 25-minute little boat ride out, not even that.
You're an
probably 10
island
minutes.
boy.
Yeah, so I lived there
working
for
on the
2
tan
years,
and-
but it was the greatest thing I ever did because not only was it a great social life, it was absolutely awesome, but I learnt what I was good at or what I thought I was going to be good at. So I went there as a kitchen hand. I worked my way into the bar and the restaurant. But what I actually did, and usually it came about because I'd had a few drinks. I got up.
The best opportunities seem to do that, to be perfectly honest.
I used to get up on stage with the band and sing songs with them. Now, I'm not a great singer, but I
you
can
give
get
it a
away
go.
with it.
Yeah.
And in the end, one of the guys who did the entertainment said to me, hey, mate, do you want to we do Saturday night shows, the Blues Brothers and Elvis and all that. Do you want to do that with me? Because the guy that he was working with was going on holidays. I said, yeah, I'll give it a crack. And then the guy actually moved on, so I took over full-time doing those jobs. So
Amazing.
we did a rock and roll night, where we sang Blues Brothers. I dressed up as a Blues Brother, dressed up as Elvis, did Cher.
Yeah.
Actually had the...
Yeah, I can imagine it.
outfit,
Yeah, I can imagine.
Ooh, I look good. And I sort of got the buzz for entertainment. Like, as I said, I wasn't very good. I got away with
Well, I
it.
think about being like a front man with anything. Half the time, it's actually not all that much about the singing cabinet. It's just the confidence in the show that you're putting up because you're the face, you're the one that they're seeing for it. So
Yeah, and it was entertaining. And then I started doing some MCing gigs. Anyway, that sort of gave me the bug to do something, and I thought, radio might be for me.
Might be good, yeah.
So I got into this course. I applied. I got in. I came over. And so I did 2 years, but I got a bit of a job at 6PR for the second year, working with Tim Gossage, just sort of helping out on weekends. He did a Saturday sports show, so I'd produce that with him and things like that. And then he got me a job. And then I started working at Channel 7 on weekends with Baz and guys like that.
You really bounced
Brooksy
around.
was still,
You bounced around a few different networks around the time. Yeah.
Remember Brooksy, big swimmer?
Yes.
Yes. So he was there as well. So sort of got to meet different people. So worked part-time at 7 for a bit, and then I got a job at Channel 10 in Brisbane. So I moved to Brisbane for a while, and then Channel 7 in Perth rang and said, do you want to come back? And my wife's from Perth, so we thought, we'll come back. And then I did that for 4 years, and then Goss became boss at Channel 10, and he said, do you want to come over and join us? And I've sort of been there since. So it's sort of, I think that's what people have to do in journalism.
Of course.
I mean,
Well,
I've stuck with 10 for 20 years, but before that, I moved around a little bit to learn the tricks of the trade and meet different people.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess that sort of, like you said, just gives you the experience to be able to go into the next role of it. And it's all just about sort of progressing through and just getting better at the craft, really, isn't it? Because it is really, it's a craft, calling, commentating, reporting, all that sort of stuff. So, no, that's awesome. And then I imagine like getting with sports journalism as well, it's sort of largely dominated by like players of those sports as well. So did you play VFL or high level stuff or nothing except for the golf, obviously?
The golf. Schoolboys champion as a 12-year-old. Still the highest scorer of any basketball game that a Reid has played in. I scored 27 points in the game of basketball. My kids are still trying to beat that and won't be able to. No, I was no good at anything, to be honest. I was all right at basketball. I loved basketball. Footy, I've actually, hopefully Joshy agrees, I've actually got pretty good skills.
Yeah.
But there's something in football that you need on top of skills, and that's a heart.
Yeah.
And probably don't have that.
Well, I mean, you don't want to be messing up the good looks. So this is what I've got, all right? This is how I make my money. That's what I say to everyone as well. So I don't have a uni degree. All I got is this. So let's...
Yeah. But I do still have, and I write it on my bio, I still do have a cassette tape. Yes, I'm that old, cassette tape of me commentating cricket and football games when I was like 4 or 5 years of age.
Oh, amazing. That's pretty cool.
And that's, I think I just always wanted to be a commentator.
There was something there. Yeah. And like I was saying, is it tricky sort of coming up against people that are ex-players from the sports and they sort of, I guess, probably getting to the positions and opportunities that you've had on all your different
maybe, although
probably a little bit easier, as in for them, it's a little bit easier.
A little bit easier, but they do probably different things to me. Like I'm a reporter. There's not a lot of former footballers who are sports reporters as such. They're special comments guys. They're experts. They do radio and things like that. So I've never really had to compete with any sports guy. Commentary-wise, there are a few ex-players that dabble in play-to-play commentary, but most of them are special comments guys.
Yeah, of course,
So I think it's great both ways, you know, and I think it's
also more of an insight for stuff that, you know, that you wouldn't have experienced that they have, and that's why this would have happened and whatever. And I guess
it's also really good that the girls or ladies are getting into it as well. We've got at Channel 10 now, we've got 2 girls or ladies who work with us.
Who's the female commentator for the cricket at Triple M?
Triple M?
I think there's 2, but there's one of them that when the cricket was on just recently, I was like, like she's got the best stuff going round. And I was like, that is really good what she was coming up with.
That's good. And it's good to see, like a really good mixture of, you know, the females and males. And, you know, it's a tough world for the female sports reporters and also commentators because, you know, it has been for a long time a bit of a boys' club, you know, sport. And I think, you know, like Sarah Jones to me, who is on Fox and hosts Friday night, ultimate professional, goes in there and she's got some massive football names, you know, like that she has to sit there and host and compete with, but she does it so well. And I think it's a real credit. So, yeah, look, I think it's good that sports people are involved. I think it's also good that that kids can still do uni and study journalism, still get a job, whether it be in TV, radio, newspaper, wherever they end up. There's so many. I mean, there's podcasts now.
Exactly. There's so many other forms of media that's out there to do all sorts of stuff with. And then you would have called with some big names as well. Like, you know, you've got ex-sports players, you know, with Dennis as well, Dennis Cometti on Triple M, who's sort of if you had to sort of go top 3, who do you go? These were just great
in terms of working with.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I mean, Dennis, the greatest of all time. I mean, I remember the first time that I got to commentate with him. It was probably about 6 years ago, and I walked into the commentary box, and I was like this little kid, and Dennis is there, and I sort of turned to him and I said, "Oh, Den, where do you want to sit?" And he goes, "Lachy, just you sit wherever you want. I'll sit just wherever you want me to.
Fit in,
you know, I'll just fit in." I went, "Oh, okay, I know. Well, you know, you can sit over there, mate. Thanks very much." And then throughout the call, it was seamless. And I got off the call and I got a phone call from my mum when I was in the car driving home. And Mum rang and said, "Oh, how was it? I listened in. It sounded fantastic. You've actually commentated with Dennis Cometti." I said, "Mum, I learnt one thing today is that you don't have to be a dickhead to be the best at your job. You don't have to be arrogant. You don't have to be over the top. You don't have to be all about me, because he is such a team player, such a nice person.
He seems
There's
like the
no
nicest
ego.
bloke ever, eh? Like, he just, when you hear him, you just go, gee, he just sounds so good.
And
like,
just a really special person. And I still catch up with him and have a coffee with him and just chat because you sort of become mates with him. And even though you idolise him, you still sort of sit there and he's interested in your life. And I mean, as I say, like if you want to do something and you want to be the best at it, still be you and still be a nice person, because that's the ultimate. So, look, Dennis has been great. Tim Gossage has been awesome to me.
Tim's great,
he gave me a job. Well, he didn't give me a job. He asked me over to Channel 10, and has been, for 15 to 20 years. We got to do the Western Front together, and
that's coming up later on the Western Front. There's a big segment on that. Don't worry about that. We're coming back around, everyone. Yeah.
And we worked together. He was hard on me, and he made me a better journo. So, Goss was one of those as well. So they were a couple of, Baz early on. Basil Zemplis was really encouraging. And then now I've sort of just worked my way through different people and worked with different people.
Yeah,
so
of course. And it's all just about that sort of, that journey and that network through it all, isn't it? Yeah. And I guess, like you were saying, you'll pick up different tips and tricks and, tricks of the trade, rather, from all the different people that you're working with.
Yeah,
so.
Some make you a bit harder. Some, bring you back down to earth.
Have you got one that sort of brought you back down a couple of pegs?
Oh, look, Goss was hard on me. Yeah. But he was hard because he wanted me to break stories.
Yes.
And if I went half-hearted, then he'd go, mate, that's not good enough. You need to, go a bit harder, or you need to do it this way, or whatever. So, yeah, look, he was tough on me at times, but then also had a respect for me to say, well, you did a good job there as well, mate, and would pump you up. So those are the sort of things. It's that happy medium between pushing yourself or pushing something. That's what I'm finding now, because I'm a boss, is trying to get that story, but do it in the right way.
Yes, of course. Well, it's a real fine line, isn't it, about with getting the info that you're needing and putting your story out, but then also, like you said, not being a dick about it, sort of thing, because you can still do your job without sort of,
Yeah, that's right. And sometimes there's moments where you might see something, there's moments you might hear something, and you just go, I don't think it's appropriate to run right now.
Yep.
It's not the story that we need to put out there. There's other times where, sorry, I've heard something and I'm going to run with it, and people will be upset by it. But, the prime example was just recently Brad Shepherd retiring, and there'd been speculation. So it wasn't like I broke this massive story. There'd been speculation that he was going to retire because of concussion, but I'd been told that he was going to tell the playing group on Monday that he was going to retire. So I did the story and I tweeted out, and I copped a lot of abuse for, how dare you tell the world, take the moment away. And it's like, my first reaction is, it's my job to report that. And if I think it's the right thing to do, then I'm going to do it. Whether you think it's right or whether Joe Bloggs thinks it's right, I've got to make the decision. And secondly, you don't reckon Brad Shepherd spoken to some of his teammates about retiring? Well, it's not new to Luke Shuey and Nick Natanui that he was going to retire.
As soon as there's, where there's smoke, there's fire, isn't it, as well? Like, there's always going to be other people that sort of know.
And they're all his mates.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're going to talk to your mates. If you're going to retire from football because of concussion, you're going to talk to his mates and go, what do you reckon? Am I making the right decision? Should I stick it out for a bit longer? All I was saying was he was going to stand up in front of the playing group on Monday or Tuesday. It panned out to be Tuesday. I said Monday, and say, guys, I've retired. And the players wouldn't be sitting there going, what? Well, you're retiring. They knew he was going to retire. So that's just one moment. You cop a fair bit of abuse, and you take it a bit personally every now and then. You go, did I do the right thing? And you think about it and go, yeah, I did the right thing.
Well, I guess with social media as well, it's so much easier for everybody to be in contact with you for stuff as well. So I imagine, like, previous to having Insta, Facebook, all that sort of stuff, all those sort of easy to reach you streams. Oh yeah, what would you cop? Like, you probably didn't cop nearly as much, or it wasn't. Exactly. Yeah. So it just sort of gives everybody a chance to get at you, doesn't it? A little bit. So which is good, because you can get your stuff out, but then on the flip side, you're copping it heaps as well. Aren't you? And like, biggest, if you had to, narrow down some biggest games that you've commentated or been a part of, sport, either any code, because I know you do. You've done the basketball, you've done the footy. What would you say? Here's my top moments.
The top three for me would be grand final last year. I'm a massive Melbourne fan. Grew up Melbourne Demons fan. Loved the Melbourne
You were
footy
commentating
club.
the game.
And I commentated Melbourne's win, and Dennis actually handed over to me for the last minute to actually call the actual siren. So that was pretty cool, and that sums him up as well, what I was saying before. It's not about him. So that's number one. I almost walked away from that going, I don't think I need to commentate anymore, because I've done it.
I'm on top.
I've called my team.
Nothing is ever going to quite hit the same as what that just did. Yeah, that's so cool.
I'm 49 years of age. I've never seen Melbourne win a grand final. And I not only saw them win a grand final, but I actually commentated the game. So that's pretty cool for me.
Pretty cool.
The Perth Wildcats, I've commentated several of their So commentary-wise on TV, several of their grand finals.
Yep.
So that's pretty special because I love
much
the
every
Wildcats.
year for a bit, yeah.
Yeah. And also part of, as a courtside announcer, pretty proud to be part of a couple of championships as well.
Absolutely.
And then probably the last one would be, and you're going to laugh because I have never skied in my life, although I did go for one day up to Mount Buller and hated every second of it because water got into my boots and I cried.
That is the worst. Once it's in there, though, you cannot
so
get
cold.
it out. It's freezing and it just seeps through it the whole day. Yeah, no,
so I got a call from the Channel 10 bosses saying, mate, we want to send you to Sochi for the Winter Games in 2014 and you're going to commentate the Winter Games. And I said, sweet, no worries. And you've got 12 disciplines to commentate. Now, for a bloke who's never been to the snow, don't know anything about skiing, I spent the next 6 months before the Winter Olympics studying up. I had to do downhill skiing. I had to do moguls.
And know all the lingo and all the little bits to it.
And the names, like there's Swedish names, Switzerland names that, are so hard to pronounce. So, but to be part of an Olympic Games like that, I also did a Commonwealth Games, but the Olympic Games was that was the ultimate for me. So that'd be the three.
That'd be the three.
Yeah.
See, and then that was another point I was going to sort of bring up in just a second was how much sort of research are you having to do going into a call? Because everyone's names that you nail, I guess backstories with everyone, where they've sort of come from, if they're left foot, if they're right foot, if they're, all these little details that you seem to do effortlessly every single week. Is that a lot of prep that goes into doing all that? Or is it more something, just because you've been doing it a while, it's sort of...
footy's probably a little bit... one, because I've got a full-time job, so leading into the weekends, I would like to put more effort and time into the commentary, but I'm so busy with family and work during the week that I sort of just get away with what I need to do. But because I've called for 15 years,
Well, exactly. You know
unless
what
it's
you're
a
doing
new
now.
kid making his debut, which you can pick up in the pre-game, go, okay, he's got long hair or he's wearing pink boots or something like that, and you start to get to know them very quickly.
Of course.
But I know how Luke Shuey runs.
Yep.
I know how, all these players play.
Just from watching them
just
over
by
and
watching
over and
them.
over.
So you can almost pick them out without even looking at their number or their face.
Yeah, and you're doing a lot of, obviously, the commentary. It's all live. It's going straight on TV or it's straight on radio. Have you done any fuck-ups? Is there any big ones that you go, oh, God, that was that was a bad one? Or pretty good?
Nah, look, I haven't done anything. I don't think I've done anything major. I mean, yes, every now and then you call the wrong bloke, kicking the ball, or maybe you call or you think, who the heck is that that just kicked the goal? But you sort of seem to get away with it, especially on radio, because...
And you can often go, oh, yeah, great. Freeman will kick the goal. Yeah. Oh, it was a great play from before here. And as you're looking and you're flicking the guide going, what is that guy?
Have you seen me do that?
I can hear the pages going, that's why.
So, yes, you do that, but no massive stuff up, I don't think. Not that I can think of. Nah.
Nice. Well, that's good. Just seamless.
Yeah.
Just forever. Just
Perfection.
perfect all of the time. Yeah. And has there been any, have you got any sort of classic stories of when you're in the commentary box where something's happened either with, another commentator or something on the ground, or was there a real sort of funny moment that you can think of from any of the games that really stands out? Or?
Not really. Every now and then we're commentating and you turn around to say something to Andrew Embley and he's in Andrew Embley world, which means he's not listening or he's actually out of the room on the phone. So the moments like that, but no, nothing hilarious. I did say the other day that we were talking about, do you know Britt Taylor, she does the racing? So Britt was doing the boundary line, and I was pumping up saying she's had a really busy day. She did Dead Set Legends in the morning on radio. She hosted Sky Racing, and then she came to us later in the afternoon to do the boundary on Triple M.
Yep.
And Embers and I were going, so she earned 2,000 there and 5,000, 10,000. And then I said, so she's triple dicked today instead of triple dipped. Now, I thought I said dipped, and I'm positive I said dipped, but everybody else didn't think so. So that was probably, and ironically, we're doing this now, and you asked this question, that's probably over the 20 years.
That's probably one of the
Probably
only
the
ones.
worst, yeah.
That's all right, then. That's not too bad. Yeah. Oh, very good, very good. And do you commentate just around the house and just everyday stuff as well?
Yeah.
Little bit. Yeah, I've got Josh here that's nodding his head over here going, yes, he does.
But doesn't everyone like? So if you were in the backyard as a kid, you used to commentate running around playing basketball and everything like that.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
I still do in my head when I'm shooting by myself. Bryce Cotton, here we go.
Actually, I think you do it naturally, don't you? If you're a sports lover,
But what about like non-sporting stuff? So I'm talking like you're in the kitchen. You go, Reid goes, he opens the drawer, he gets the fork, he's going to the
No, probably don't do that.
Very good. Back in just a sec. Now, I'm very excited for this segment. So you mentioned it briefly before that you hosted with Tim Gossage this show that was like a local footy show here in Perth. It was sort of late afternoon spot. Like it was on the weekends. So
it would sort of vary depending on
when the game was.
So Eagles and Dockers games, it would be before one of their games every weekend.
And it was like
Saturday.
half an hour-ish, and it would just talk pretty much about Fremantle and West Coast and a little bit of AFL stuff and do some funny bits of business. And it was called The Western Front, right? And I was digging for clips. I was digging for anything. There's not a lot when you
it was back in the dark ages, mate.
Well, that's what I mean. It was sort
TV.
of, it was before sort of when it was, like there was all the internet. You could just go on YouTube and find all the episodes. I was trying to find stuff. There just wasn't a lot, right? But it was.
I've got a collection in my library. You can come around and just sit down and watch it.
I would love to see it. Now, why this was sort of like so iconic, it was, like we said, it was just talking about Fremantle West Coast. It was probably before there was really a lot of different footy shows. Like now there's all sorts of types of footy shows and whatever. But it was just talking about Fremantle West Coast, and like it was probably like not the highest of budget shows, wasn't it? Oh, it was like not So anyway, so it was sort of in a studio. It was you, Tim Gossage, and you do a few funny bits and pieces. But the segment that was like the most iconic part, I'm sure you still get it from people, was the W, right? So anyone that has watched the show, you know exactly what I still see people doing it now. Like it's still a thing now. So pretty much what it was say if a goal was kicked or there was some crowd in the in the vision of the footy, everyone would put up these W's for the Western Front, and if the camera saw you and the producers of the show saw that you're in the background, you'd win a prize pack, right? So
prize pack was a ripper too.
All you could see from that. How many years did that show run?
We ran 10 years.
So it was like early to or mid.
So I think we started 2002. So what happened was I'd just moved to Channel 10. So Goss had got the job as the news reader or the sports reader, and we had got the AFL footy at Channel 10 at the same time.
Yes.
So he said, come over, be the number one footy reporter. Plus, I'm thinking of doing this show because they want something to lead into, say, a Dockers game on a Saturday afternoon or a Saturday night. So we'll do a show together as well. So that's how it started.
Yes.
And then he did say, not much of a budget. You won't get paid.
You didn't get paid?
No. Well, we got paid because I worked for Channel 10, but I didn't
wasn't
get
any extra for the show.
No, I didn't get any extra for the show.
But the cult following that came with, that must be, it was worth every time that you went and did that show. So like we were saying, so the W, you put the W up if they saw you in the crowd, and that was all that you could see from games of that era at Subi Oval. Was everyone in the fucking W's doing this, and everyone's going wild. Yeah. And people would be doing it, not even knowing why they're doing it, because everyone, we must be doing it. The W's are, it's so funny. So the prize packs, how would you even know that the people that were doing the, because it was like a blurry, thinking about, there's one. How do you even know?
Well, we'd look around and, notice those people that are doing it. And then we just, I think people would email. We'd ask them to email in. If that's you, then you win yourself a prize.
So pretty much I could have just gone, that was me. There was probably a prize pack coming my way.
And the prize pack, mate, the prize pack was something real special.
What was in it? Tell me.
It was a blue Western Front bag.
Oh, yes. Collector's edition now. They've run out those things. Real limited edition.
It had a drink bottle in it. Because everyone wants a drink bottle.
Of course.
Yeah. I think it might have had a Western Front sticker in it as well. And that'd be about it, I reckon.
It was iconic, as it was that good. But do you still get people that ask you about it? Or?
Yeah, I do. It's funny because
surely when the boys' friends are all over and they're on the piss or whatever, had a few. Surely they go, come on, give us one.
Especially probably Ben's age more than Josh's age, because that was the time where they were the kids,
and that was like you'd look forward to watching. I'd be watching it. I'd be going, great, it's on before the game. Let's chuck that on.
It's funny. Everyone's saying, like a really mixed emotion. Like it seemed to be that kind of show that you either loved or you hated but you still watched.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
those dickheads on that show, crapping on about the W, but you still watched it because you knew about the W. I got something on Twitter the other day. Yeah. I mentioned something on Twitter the other day, and some bloke comes back to me and goes, "Oh, you're the bloke responsible for the W," and I went, "Yeah, I am. Like, I'm sure awesome. You've done it in your life." Yeah, everyone seemed to do it. I mean, I remember as taking Joshy, when he was like a little tack, and we were at the shops. People would just walk up to you in the shops, like on a Saturday afternoon.
Give us a prize pack.
W, Western Front. And the kids would be going, "Do you know that bloke?" And I go, "No, I don't, but good on him. This is good." So, look, it was good. It was like it was the thing to do, wasn't it, between sort of 2002 and 2010.
It was a thing. If you're into football and you're going to the games and you got on TV, you're whipping the W up. Yeah. No, that's awesome. And did you get any like real famous people that? Well, what was like the most famous?
Kobe Bryant, the late Kobe Bryant, did a W for it, and literally did a W for the Western Front. We met this guy who was a journo in America, and he'd come over here to Perth for some reason, and we were just talking to him, Goss and I, and we said, "Mate, because he covered basketball," I said, "Mate, if you ever run into one of the great basketballs, can you get a W from?" And all of a sudden, like 3 or 4 weeks later, we get this video sent via email. Kobe Bryant going, "Hey, Western Front," like the late Kobe Bryant.
Oh, you would have lost it. Going,
so that was,
oh my God, best moment ever.
That was cool.
Have you got a photo of that somewhere?
Yeah, we would somewhere.
Yeah, send it to me. Send it to me. That's awesome.
And like Kevin Rudd, the Prime Minister, did one. I think John Howard might have done it as well as Prime Ministers. A heap of sports people.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, that is it was iconic.
Yeah.
So I think that
actually the funniest was one, and this was just a Joe Blogs, but the back. You know how on the coverage of Wimbledon, every now and then they go to the back court. Let's go to the back courts and catch up with
whoever,
And there's this bloke in a West Coast Eagles jumper. This is at Wimbledon on the coverage. And he's there in this West Coast Eagles jumper, and he's going,
This is my chance. This is my chance.
So he won the prize pack.
Oh, he would. I hope you sent him 2 at least. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. And then the sign off? What was the sign off? Thanks for joining us. How did you sort of sign every episode off?
Oh, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed the Western Front.
Okay.
I think, something like that. And we all
hope you enjoyed the Western Front. Can we do that down the lens? This will honestly make my fucking day. This all right? Ready?
Okay.
Go.
Hope you've enjoyed the Western Front.
Oh, it was as good as I thought it was going to be. Yes.
I'll tell you the funniest story just before you stop. Was Steve Nelkovsky was a journo for Channel 7.
Yep.
And this is hilarious. So he was doing a live cross into Seven's news on a Saturday night, and it was at an Eagles game, right? And Chris Connolly, the coach of the Fremantle Dockers at the time, was sitting over, say, where Josh is here. So Steve's where the camera is, doing his cross. Yes, welcome along. I think we're at Joondalup. And what he'd done is he'd organised for his cameraman to, once he said, and the coach of the Fremantle Dockers just sitting over here, for his cameraman to pan over to Chris Connolly, right? So there's Chris. Steve's on camera. Here's Chris Connolly. Starts drifting over. And standing in the way of Chris Connolly were 4 kids going,
"Hey, got him!"
So you couldn't even
Channel
see
7.
Chris Connolly.
They would have not been happy. Beautiful. All right, one more time.
Hope you've enjoyed the Western
Front. Yes. That was awesome. So we're going to play this little game. This is the last bit, and then I'll let you go for the 3-hour trip back to up north.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that the Demons grand final win was your highlight. Yep. So I've got a little bit of vision here, and I'm assuming, have you listened to yourself back a couple of times?
I've listened to it a few times. I've listened to the last 3 minutes going into the end of third quarter, that moment where they just went ballistic.
Yep.
I've listened to that several times. More not to listen to me, more to just get that moment again, because that was probably the greatest performance of a footy team.
And also you're up there and you're working, as much as you are enjoying it, you're working at the time, you're making sure it's all good. So just sort of going back and basking in the...
Are you going to show me a mistake or something?
No, not a mistake. No. So what I want to do, so this is, what I want you to do is commentate live for us. That's what I want you to do. Okay, so I've got this bit of vision here, third quarter.
Yep.
30 seconds to go.
Right.
Cool. There was a goal just before. Who kicked the goal before? Let me get exactly who it was.
Was that Sparrow?
That was. Hang on, we're about to bring it nice and close here. I've not got the audio for you yet. Hang on.
No, it wasn't Sparrow.
Anyway, I think it was Petrarca maybe, right? So then the lead into this is you take full control over this. The lead in, is 18 points on the IGA liquor scoreboard. All right. So that's what I'm gonna. That's what the lead in is.
Right.
I'm not gonna put the sound on. I'm gonna play the clip. I want you just to do the piece of clip that's here. Just do it straight to the mic.
Okay.
And then we're gonna replay it with the sound up. And we'll see how close you got.
All right.
Okay.
Here we go.
Sound good? All righty. Here we go.
18 points on the IGA liquor
18.
scoreboard.
Yep.
Here we go.
Go.
18 points on the IGA liquor scoreboard for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M Rocks footy. Bounce to the football. Kicked off the ground by Viney, running onto it. My man Jackson, the hand pass, a good one. On to Oliver. Oliver, 45 metres out, brings the house down. Clayton Oliver kicks the goal. The Demons on absolute fire with seconds to go to three-quarter time.
Oh, very good. Such a professional. I'll be honest. I reckon that was pretty close to what it was. Hey, oh my gosh, that was really good. Alrighty, so let's rewind the clip here. Let's bring it back in.
Show the whole highlight.
Show the whole.
Could watch the whole game again.
All right, hang on. Let's bring this up.
IGA scoreboard. IGA Liquor proudly local, proudly independent. Bounce the footy in the middle. 30 seconds. Can one team score again? Kick off the ground by Viney to Jackson. Runs through the centre square to Oliver. 45 out. Oliver. This will bring the house.
Oh, he nailed it. He absolutely nailed it. He nailed it. Oh, that was excellent. Yes. 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 Oh, I knew it was going to be close. That was fantastic.
So I think I remember that moment. It was unbelievable. That Jackson hand pass. Like people will just say, oh, it's just a hand pass. No, because he could have gone. I can't remember who the player closest to. He could have given it actually back to Viney, who would have run straight into a defender and been tackled. But he was so smart that he went, I'm not going to Viney, I'm going that little bit further over the top to Oliver. And that was unbelievable.
I think he actually brought that up with him when he was in.
You see, on the slow-mo here, he could have gone to Viney, who would have run into Caleb Daniel. Instead, he went to Oliver. And, man, that 3 minutes, it felt like, I think it was less than 3 minutes, but it was 3 minutes with stoppage time and everything.
Oh, yeah.
That was the best footy I have ever seen. And not because I'm a Demons fan.
It was pretty unbelievable.
I don't think you would have seen a better 3 minute passage of play ever.
No, it was amazing. It was, and I was with Luke's family. Yeah. And, oh, my God, the roller coaster of emotion that game.
Yeah.
At that point,
well, they were done, weren't they?
Yeah.
Midway through the third quarter, they were 16 or 19
Luke's mum
down.
Was crying at half time, going, no, this is. We're going, oh, fuck. This is all going to unravel. But then
they looked done. Bontempelli kicked a goal, stretched out the margin. I'm thinking, well, they need to respond here because they just weren't going in hard at the start of the third quarter. But, they were hard after that.
No, it was awesome. No, great call. Absolutely nailed it. Well, thank you very, very much for coming and doing the podcast with us today. Thanks for all the support you've given me the last 2 years with all the reports and getting me involved with Triple M and all the opportunities that's come with it. Love you, love your family. You guys are all so great. And thank you very much.
You're a legend, mate. You're an absolute ripping bloke. And I love how you've set up the 100 kgs on the bench press.
It's ready
for
to go for you. It's
just
a
to
warm-up
smash out
weight
before I head off to work. So that's fair. Just 100 kgs, just a light one today.
Yeah, quick one in.
Very good man. Make sure you tune in each and every week to the Body Madge. I love him. He's a sensation.
Thanks, mate. Too good. Thanks very much, guys.